Welcome back to the #1 podcast in the world. We are your hosts, Chase Demoor.
And Gabrielle Moses.
And today I decided to break the ice right away and bring in the man, the myth, the legend himself, Perfect Match Season 3 winner, Daniel Perfetto. I want you to say hello to the people.
How you doing, guys? Super happy to be here.
Obviously, you guys have seen the drama unfold firsthand, and we're just going to dive right into the experience of Perfect Match. We're going to let Daniel talk a little bit about that. So what was it like on this season of Perfect Match, Daniel?
Well, where do I begin?
Start with the beginning.
Yeah, the beginning. To be honest with you, going into Perfect Match, it was just like, you actually have no idea what to expect at all. Definitely nervous, speaking for myself, walking into the house. Super nervous. You have no idea who's going to be in there. Obviously, when I walk in, I see Louis, so immediately I actually met Louis through you, Chase, so that was a little bit of a better feeling for me. Felt a little bit more confident walking in there. And then, it's pretty much you go in there and meet someone right away and let the games begin. Was
it what you were expecting in terms of was there anybody that you were hoping was going to be there that wasn't there, or that vice versa?
To be honest with you, I had no idea what to expect. I was actually supposed to do season 2 last year. So I kind of had, I thought I was going to do season 2 last year. So I expected those girls at that time. And this time I had no idea what to expect. So I was kind of going in there completely dark. And to be honest with you, it was pretty cool that way, because you don't really want to know what's going on. It's better just to go in and have it, play out. So.
And how was it filming it compared to Dated and Related?
Oh, well, entirely different. I'm super grateful because I think Perfect Match does a great job. There's so many people working it too. They have an entire hotel just based for production itself. But from top to bottom, I don't know. It was just great.
Yeah, outside of the production, that's not what people want to care about. People care about when you walked in there and you had all of the beautiful girls in front of you.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think at the beginning you were stuck between, was it Juliet and
Lucy?
And Lucy. Yeah. So can you talk to me a little bit about that? What was your mindset with that?
Yeah, so my mindset as soon as I came in is I gotta have a couple conversations really quickly, because
you gotta make some moves.
Because if I don't, sitting on the outside. And Dated and Related, I don't know if you guys ever seen that, but if you remember me, I came in as a bombshell with my sister. And when I came in last time, I remember thinking to myself, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. It just felt like the house was so connected. This time around, and after hanging out with him a little bit too long and just figuring some things out for myself, I said, you got to go out there and do your thing. So right away, I knew that I had to go have a couple conversations. And immediately, Juliet and I kind of clicked. We had some very easy conversations. And
You guys kissed, no?
I kissed her toes and kissed her.
That's what I was giving you.
So immediately, first when you come in, if you guys don't know, you kind of have a couple of drinks, you meet people, and then Nick Lachey walks in and he lets us know there's 5 guys and 5 girls. So the first night's easy. It's just you got to find your own match, and everyone matches up by the end of the night. So.
Did they limit your alcohol intake?
I want to be honest with you, not really. I think you could see it at some points, but they would say they'd have an open bar and then they'd be like, all right, guys, drinks are cut off. If they maybe saw someone drink a little bit more.
If it got too messy.
Exactly. And then they'd open the bar again. So.
As far as what made you decide between Lucy and Juliet, let's talk about that for a little bit. Because it seemed at first you liked Juliet, no?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe I didn't explain it correctly, but that's kind of what I was going into, because the conversation with Juliet was really good and it was awesome. But something inside me was the whole point of Perfect Match is that you immerse yourself in the experience. It's finding your perfect match. You got to have a conversation with everybody. So I didn't have a chance to speak to Lucy at all. And something inside me was just I don't know, I was a little bit drawn to her. I was I wanted to just at least have a conversation. So let me put this on the back burner real quick. I'll go have a convo. And we kind of hit it off. And I felt in that moment, I was going to make the switch there.
Yeah, it seemed to me just obviously we've been together for so long now that I kind of have a general idea of what type of girl you would go for. And on paper it seems like Lucy does check a lot of those boxes. She's got the dark hair, dark eyes, all that stuff. And so when I was watching it initially, in my head I didn't think you would even bat an eye at Juliet, but it seemed at first you guys got along really great. And here's my thing with people on TV is I think when you first meet somebody, similar to how you were saying you were having that conversation with Juliet, did it seem to you like something was off? Because I feel like her whole character from the beginning to the end kind of changed a little bit.
Well, I feel like I don't know, it sounds a little bit weird, but I feel like I'm very good at observing people and kind of reading energy. I've never been the person to walk into the room and be the loudest person, but I like to think that I kind of develop a good understanding for who someone is. But at the same time, I don't know. I was just like, you got to give everyone an equal opportunity. Juliet was great. Like, and you know me, I'm a little bit quieter
Yeah.
until I know you. Like, I've known you guys for so long, so I have a different relationship. And Juliet's a super fun person that kind of like brings you out of your shell. So I enjoyed that. But yeah,
They
something.
kind of edited her in, like the first few episodes, being really cocky.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
she actually?
I don't know. Juliet has like it's like that fine line between like being cocky and confident. I feel like she walks that line well. Um, yeah, I don't know. She never really gave me the impression like she was rude or arrogant. She was just kind of like fun to me. Maybe that's why in my head I didn't necessarily view her as like that perfect match, like someone you could genuinely be serious with. More like a lot of fun, you know?
So when you walked in the first day, you kind of just took like an evaluation of the options that you were given because you came in with everybody else on the first day, and did you narrow it down to just those two, or was it like a process behind that?
Yeah, yeah. For me, obviously there was initial attraction, and immediately it was like those two for me. And if you guys have seen the first episode, how it works is when Nick Lachey comes in, we start to play a game. It's called Puck or I don't know, puck or play, something like that. Anyway, someone pulls out a puck and you pretty much pick someone and you do different things, truth or dare. And of course, it turns out that I'm the last one to go. Not to mention, Nick Lachey asks, "All right, guys, yeah, who are we eyeing?" And right away, Clayton, yeah, I actually love him. His big ass, he's so funny. Goes,
You
"Yeah,
guys could be related, by the
yeah."
way.
He's like, "I'm feeling Lucy," and I was like, "Oh shit!" Well, right away, I'm like, I can't step on his toes right away. He just said he wants his girl in front of everybody, and then sure enough, I'm the last one to go. Everyone's being lipsed and whatever, and I'm the last person to go, and I got the puck where you can pick anybody. So in my head, I'm like, oh, who do I pick? Juliet, Lucy, Juliet, Lucy, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna go with Juliet, and I was
The
confident.
safe route, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Fair.
and yeah, I ended up switching later that night, but Clayton would tell you he called me the silent assassin because I was not doing anything, and apparently he was having a conversation with Juliet, and she's like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" Because Lucy's matching with Daniel. He's like, "What? What are you talking about?" Yeah.
So, okay, so now we need to talk about the important thing is that how did this girl's toes get in your mouth?
Yeah, what were you thinking?
You know what's funny? No one ever believed this. Like I've actually never done that before, but for the
For that, I swear. Can we get a fact check on that? Some of the girls that know Daniel, can we get somebody in the comment section?
that's on my mom. I've never been a
You
foot.
told your mom.
No, I said that's on my mom. Like I've never done that. And you know what's funny though? I did play that shit like a harmonica though. It was like like a piano. I feel like I actually did it well. She enjoyed it. That's all that matters. But of course, Louis the one to stir the pot right off the bat. And I was like, shit, you're gonna call me out in front of everyone if I don't step up to the plate. You know, might not look the
So you
best.
had to.
I had
You had to.
So-
You didn't have an option.
It's one of those things. And so transitioning from that, obviously the first night of matching was really difficult. But obviously, was it you guys that won the first challenge, or?
No. So who ended up winning the first challenge was Madison and Cody,
Okay.
which was the raft like,
Okay.
across the water.
So talk to me about the other couples in the show, and what was your initial thoughts on them? Do you think that, because obviously the dynamic of Perfect Match has changed since my season, where it seems like a lot of the day one couples decide to be together because it's a safety net. Can you talk a little bit about the other couples and if you thought it was a safety thing or if they actually were matches?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, I don't know if you guys see, when I win my challenge, Lucy and I win the challenge, we were asked specifically to rank the couples in order from most serious to least. And we said AD and Ollie, which, as you guys know, has worked out. So it's amazing for Perfect Match. And then we voted for Madison and Freddie. So yeah, I don't know. We actually did feel like they had their own, like, they were very much alone and would do their own thing. I thought that was really cool. They grew together. Freddie had to leave and came back. That was great. And Sandy and Louie. So there's no doubt in my mind that they cared for each other and stuff. But at the end of the day, like Louie is Louie, and he is younger. He's my guy. I knew that they definitely got stronger as it went on. But I would say in terms of like ranking the couples, or in my eyes, most serious, it'd be like that. Rachel and Ray, they kind of came in. Ray came in a little bit after, so they formed later. And in my eyes, I just didn't really view that as a serious
silly.
thing. Yeah. But going back to your point, I do feel like people that aren't in the house immediately are at an unfair advantage. It's super difficult, guys. If you're not in the house, you pretty much have a date. You go back to the house and you have a 10-minute conversation with everyone to try and steal someone's match. So credit to those who are able to do that. But yeah, it's super difficult. And to be honest, I feel like they should try and change that in some way.
Was it really that quick? You only had like 10 minutes to make it
Yeah,
back?
yeah, that might be a little bit of a boost, 10 to 15 minutes. The date itself, you gotta do balls to the walls, be going off to try and impress that girl. Then you come back to the house and meet everybody. So
Do you think that it applies a lot of pressure on like these relationships that you have to move so quickly and try to make such a solid thing out of almost nothing to make sure that you have opportunity on the TV show and in the house?
oh, absolutely. And you can even see it in some of the episodes. These guys are, with the 30-minute conversation with the girl being like, I'll cook breakfast for you in the morning. They're saying everything.
Jesus
They're begging.
Christ.
Yeah, and again, everyone in the house is all great people, but
Yeah.
they are doing the most to try
Oh,
and get in.
jeez.
So maybe a little bit of strategy at play, but
Who do you think was like trying the hardest?
trying the hardest, that's very tough to say. I want to say equally everyone that wasn't in the house is pulling out all the stops possible.
fair.
And yeah, just trying to do the most.
Okay, so
That's why I was really blessed. Like
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
were
gonna lie
there
to you,
the
I was
whole
sitting
time.
back, I was grateful. I wasn't really worried ever that I wouldn't be in the house. I say that respectfully and with confidence. But yeah,
You had a
these
good relationship on the show.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it
I
made
did.
sense that you guys were in the whole
yeah,
time.
I don't necessarily think that the edit painted it that way, but at the same time, I actually really do believe that the relationship I had on the show was good, and everyone else saw that, which is why it, I guess, ended the way it did.
I would say that everybody out there, and I'm the advocate of saying this, especially on dating shows, is like it's real life in a fake world. And it's when you're trying to develop a relationship with somebody, everything in these shows seems to move really fast, especially in a situation where it's like you either make it work or you're gone.
Yeah.
Do you find that, what was advocated and what was shown was a good representation of the relationship that you and Lucy had? And if not, what do you think should have been shown more?
Yeah, that's definitely a good question and a tough one. I would say that it's a fair representation because at the end of the day, like, I'm only going to be judged for my own actions. So speaking specifically for myself, I definitely could have done some things better. I look at certain situations of, me maybe being upset or people want to say insecure. One thing about me is what I will say is I'm not an insecure person. One thing maybe that I have a fault or a character trait of mine is I'm more like a protective guy. I'm European. I grew up a certain way, a little bit old fashioned. And even though you care for someone, it's not an excuse to maybe treat them a certain way. So I've reflected on that. It's been a long time, but overall, I'm like super grateful for it, guys. Things are so intense in there. You're sharing a bed with someone. That's not something I do on a regular basis. If I'm sharing a bed with a woman every single night, you are going to develop feelings for one another. It does get a lot more intense, but what I will tell you is you do see a minute fraction of a lot of the interactions that go on throughout the house. So, based on the edit, I'm not going to blame it on that, but you do see certain things that it looks a little bit more negative than in my eyes how it actually went. But nonetheless, I thought it was good. I thought it was really good in the end. So
Yeah, there's a situation, diving into the boys' day really quickly.
yeah.
Let's talk about this boys' day for a second, because I think a lot of people online seem to have beef with you over this boys' day. So you want to touch on that a little bit for the people?
Yeah. And again, guys, we're talking about a TV show. This situation would not happen in the real world, but pretty much what ended up happening is we're all chilling in the morning, guys and girls with their couples, all coupled up, having a nice little morning, and Nick Lachey comes in, surprises us. Girls, you're gonna have a mixer with the guys out of the house and vice versa. So immediately you could see on a lot of the boys' face, we're pretty excited about it to kind of get away and stuff and have a good time. But mainly in my head, I'm like, I'm in Mexico, I'm gonna be on a beach, I'm with my boys having a couple of drinks. You mean to tell me that that's not gonna be a good time?
Yeah.
Now, did I expect it to end up that way? I did not.
It got a little messy.
Yeah, it did. But I think I'd be lying to you and all the other guys would if we said we didn't have a great time. I know it got out of hand. That was never the expectation, but it happened. And all you can do is own it. Like Lucy even said to me on the show, she's like, Daniel, I know if this was the outside world, that would never happen. We were being pushed to do something. Guys, this is a reality show. If every relationship didn't have an ups or down, or up and down, sorry, it would be boring. What would you guys be watching? Like a marriage, like any relationship in the real world, there's problems. Shit happens. And unfortunately, I didn't mean to like embarrass her or act the way I did. I had a lot to drink, sorry, but it was a good time, and I owned it. I ended up apologizing. It doesn't mean it's okay, but I can take responsibility for my own actions and be like, yeah, I acted like a kid that day, and so be it. And we moved.
And I think that's a really good point to touch on. And a lot of people need to understand something, that in terms of what keeps us employed and why we're on this show, it is a reality show. It is entertainment. It is a genre of television at the end of the day. So understanding there is a fine medium between what is going too far and what's going, far enough. A lot of people at home can criticize and say, how could he do this? At the end of the day, I think everything you did at a Boys' Day on a television show was completely normal. I don't think you did anything crazy. And at the end of the day, you still were with your match. Mm-hmm. So that is to play an advantage. And I think people also need to understand something here is if you just went out there and had your thumbs crossed like this and sat right there, then they have nothing to watch.
Yeah.
So, touching on that a little bit, obviously owning up to it is a big factor, and that takes a much larger man, because a lot of these other shows, you got guys pretending to throw up and crying in the bathroom and playing victim. You, on the other hand, you went into the fire, but at least you stood in the fire.
Yeah.
Here's the thing too. I think Lucy did a good job of like realizing it for what it was.
Yeah.
Like she did, of course, take it a little personal. So did all the other girls. But at the end of the day, like a lot of them realized like it is a TV show. Like even AD realized that. Like
exactly.
You're there for a few weeks. You're not getting married right then, right there. It's not like Love is Blind or whatever.
Yeah, and like you said, at that point, you know each other X amount of days. Obviously, what people keep drawing back to is like, you got upset with her because she was loud. Like, guys, it really wasn't like that. And then I know how it looks. Then to go be licking up someone's leg, like you're 100% right. But I don't know. We had a good understanding. Like the way Lucy handled it probably would have been a lot better than me. I'll be the first to tell you that. But yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, guys, like I'm a human being. I never said I was perfect for anybody, and I make mistakes, and that's okay.
So when you were done with the Boys' Day, in your head, here's what'll be the kicker. In your head, did you think, oh my God, I should not have done that? Or did you think in your head like, okay, I did it, but it doesn't mean anything. Like I still want to match with Lucy.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you, and I think in every guy's head that day, and it sounds bad to say it, but we completely forgot. We were literally so invested in the moment of just being together at the boys' mixer. And the producers did a very good job at us. They kept telling us, immerse yourself in the experience. Go for it, go for it. And we did, and it was great. But as soon as it was time, the dopamine settles down, you better believe I was shitting bricks, tail between my legs. Like, that was just so stupid of what I did. I want to go back to my girl in the house, of course. That was the plan all along. Like, soon as, I always wanted to be with her. It was never like, I'm going to go into this mixer and I'm going to test my options. You can even see in the clips, the boys are, really egging me on. And again, I'm a grown ass man. That's on me. No one's going to peer pressure me to do something. But yeah, no, I always wanted to go back with her for sure.
And do you think that it felt like a little bit of a setup at this mixer?
Yeah, what I will say is I think the producers were very happy with how the events occurred, 100%.
Right? They were probably so happy. They're like, oh, we have some tea.
Yeah, and again, like for a lot of these, the one thing that it kind of sucks is like these girls didn't see exactly what happened on these mixers. So when the show came out and they're seeing that, obviously I feel bad for like Lucy or someone to see that. I don't want them to be thinking I'm out here trying to make you look like a fool, and that's why I wanted to make sure like that wasn't the case. We just totally got out of hand, and shouldn't have been like
and the way I look at it personally is just like, imagine if you're gonna get married to Lucy and you have a bachelor party or whatever, and whatever. Do I think that the physical here's the thing, is it's so subjective, and it depends on how secure and strong you are in your own each relationships. And the reason I asked you specifically, like, did you feel guilty when you left, is because if you start feeling guilty and you do all this and that, it kind of causes a conundrum in your head where it's like, I don't really I can't separate what's real and what's fake anymore. And I think the biggest thing is trying to explain to people that they're seeing 10 hours of a 3-week relationship. And obviously the girls are going to get a chance to go do the girls' day as well. So it's like in your head, you also have to know that you are on a dating show. You are trying to find people, and it would be a discredit to you if you didn't go out there and test your relationship with Lucy and realize that's who you want to be with.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
So, and then going into the next thing, when they had a girls' day, correct? Did you feel confident with her going to the girls' day, or how did you feel?
Yeah, I did. That's the thing. I didn't have any worry about that, but then to watch it back and they're playing like patty cake and then seeing how we were, of course that makes you feel like shit. But no, I didn't feel like she would do anything. And to be honest with you, again, even in my head, I wasn't going in there saying I'm gonna do something.
It just kind of happened.
It just happened. Yeah. One too many drinks and, you know, being with the boys and immersing yourself in the experience. It's not an excuse, but I'm being as transparent as I can possibly be. That's the black and white truth of it.
How do you think you would have handled it if roles were reversed?
Probably not good. You know, and that's something I could admit, but at the same time, you also got to take a step back and reflect and be like, where am I right now? I'm filming Perfect Match. This is a TV show. This isn't necessarily the real world, and you know, if she wanted to do that, she could have done it herself. So.
And here's the thing is like I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit here, and not just because you're my friend, but like here's the thing is it's like if you did everything, if you and your partner were together and everything you did, you looked at it and go like, well, how would I feel if she did that to me? You can't look at it because I think that sometimes in relationships, me personally, I think that it is an equal relationship, but I don't think that the roles are necessarily equal all the time, because the reason I'm gonna say that is it's like you can't say how you would react if she did the same thing, because she is not you and she is supposed to be parts of you that you don't see in yourself, and vice versa. Similar to like how she could complain and cry to you about how, you know, somebody took the last, you know, shoe in her size at the store, and you would look at it like, well, this is a stupid argument. Why are we talking about this? But to her, it's a big deal, you know, and vice versa. And what I mean by that is it's like, you don't do something with the intent of thinking like, how would I feel if she did this to me? Because you don't see that reality when, you know, to her, it might be a bigger deal and you a lesser deal. But I think the biggest thing is when you had an opportunity to think in your head, should I talk to her about this? Did that thought cross your mind, or did you just say like, I'm just gonna, you know, let it pan out for what it is?
Like letting her know what fully happened?
Yeah, like how like get back from the like, hey, just to let you know this took place. I should not have done it.
To be honest with you, we were coming back from that day. I don't know if you guys see, but we all go in with our shirts off. The girls are sitting on the couch like, all right, like, wow.
They're like, what happened?
What the hell's going on? So immediately we're sitting with our matches and they pick it up right away. The truth is I definitely wanted to say something right away. At the same time, you're thinking like, if I'm the first one to say something in front of the whole group here, then I'm throwing other people under the bus, and I feel like that's not my place. So if you did watch it, you see me say like, hey, listen, I need to have a conversation with you, and we go and do that. You know, again, we were dared to do a lot of these things. In my head, it was a game. Got totally out of hand, but yeah, that's the truth. Like, I didn't want to hurt the girl. She knows that. She wouldn't have matched with me after if she felt like I did intentionally do that. We wouldn't have those conversations. And that's something I do want to stress as well. If she didn't want to be with me, she didn't have to.
Exactly.
So.
Okay, and then my question, like, as it goes on the show, because you're day one to the end, does it feel like a competition show to you? Like, do you guys understand that we're not winning money here? All we're winning is a vacation. But for some reason, even when I was on the show, it still felt like I want to win for the sake of the competition.
Yeah.
Did that transition into your season?
Yeah, one thing I will say is the challenges that they do have are actually really cool. Unbelievable, and it does feel super competitive. At the end of the day, I view it as we're all equal. There's like tons of guys that are equally as jacked, big dudes. It's just a competition right off the bat. It doesn't matter what the challenge is. And it does get real competitive. They do a good job at that, whether it's a physical challenge or just, you know, almost like a trivia or compatibility. It's like, that's competitive nature. If you played sports or have done that, you want to win.
The challenges too were way better this season,
Yeah,
I think, compared to the past ones.
And
What was your favorite challenge, Gab?
Well, the kissing challenge was interesting. I know they've
But
done
that's
it
on
in the
all of them,
past.
though.
I know. but that one was the most memorable because it caused the most drama, especially with you
yeah,
too.
it
It
did.
showed, I don't know if it's just the way they edited it, but
Yeah.
it seems like you got pretty heated about
Yeah,
that.
I guess we'll transition right into that one. Thanks, Gab.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no, kissing challenge was great. This is one thing I'll say. Yeah, obviously, Chase, as you know, Gab, you know, the kissing challenge is you're blindfolded, you kiss someone else in front of you, and you.
Kind of gross, by the way.
Yeah, very gross. They actually do give you mouthwash and everything, so that's
Oh, they
taken
do?
care of.
Not on my season.
I
And
took notes. They were
yeah.
like, how do we make this better?
So you're actually moved. The goal is obviously you don't know who's in front of you. You're blindfolded. You make a kiss. They literally move you. They got it. They try and make it random, so you have no idea. And then you hold up like 4, 3, 10, whatever, and you're rating the person in front of you who's kissing you. So
Chip your tooth.
exactly. So that didn't happen for me. I will actually come out and tell you that every kiss I had was pretty good, other than one. That's fine.
Other
And
than
then,
one.
yeah, other one, it was all right. It was just like a peck or something.
Imagine if they would have put a dude in the mix.
All right, but yeah, moral of the story is that's the play. And the only thing you're thinking of, at least for me, is I was like, shit, I can't mess up the score of my match. You mean to tell me I'm sharing a bed with her every night? I got to make sure I know who the girl I've been kissing every night, right? Like, there's no chance. What about the cologne I'm wearing, how I feel, my moisturizer? You know, I don't know. I like to think that we kind of know who we're kissing.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you. I actually knew every single person in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a weird thing.
impressive.
I swear to you,
I get it. I did it. I know.
And so yeah, when the scores came back, it appeared that like when I was kissing like Lucy, I was like into it. I swear to God, I was like lifting her leg. I was like, I was going off. I'm like, she's got to know it's me. I'll put in some work. I felt pretty good about this competition. I'm competitive. And we go, and Nick Lachey's like, oh, Lucy, your highest score was actually Ollie. And it's actually really funny because Ollie's actually my boy. At the time, it wasn't that funny to me.
You got mad.
As you guys know, and AD was a little bit pissed at that too because she's thinking in her head, wait, if she ranked Ollie at 10, he must have been pretty damn into that kiss too. How's that possible?
And it's like you can feel facial features of a black man and a white man. Like
So that's what I'm saying. They're like, how, why'd you get so upset? Like, how would you not know? Guys, like, I wasn't necessarily so upset at that being rated. I'm a 9 on the soccer pitch. If someone rates me a 9, I'm good with that. There's always room for improvement, okay? The point is that when
on the pitch.
when you're kissing someone in front of you for multiple days, in my head, I'm like, there's no way I can mess up my partner, like the person in front of me. So Ollie, my boy, love the guy, but we're just built different. Maybe same height, but we're wearing a different cologne. He's got a full ass beard. So to me,
Hair texture, skin texture.
I was like, there's just no chance. So maybe that's naive to think of. Was I a little bit more heated than I should have been? Sure. AD was also heated. We had a conversation where like, there's no way. But obviously, guys, in hindsight, like reflecting, it's a kissing game. It's obviously not that deep. In the moment, was I pissed off? Sure. I think other people would have been too, and that's okay. I definitely didn't mean to make her cry or nothing. I think you see, like, I ran out of the shower. I ran out of the shower to go talk to her. Like, I'm not a perfect person. I tried,
Yeah, the thing is with that too, is it kind of goes back to what I said earlier about how when it becomes a TV show and it becomes competitive, the girls are not stupid. They're very smart girls as well. And they also understand that they are on a TV show and they have to make the most of themselves. So a part of me likes to think in my head that some of that was played up a little bit for the television, whether it's like, giving Ollie a high rating or a little bit of the tears and stuff like that. Because obviously, if you date anybody, even in the real life, and you're with them all the time and they go and kiss somebody else and they say, oh, he's a better kisser than you, there's not a single person that's going to be like, oh, I'm okay with that. Everybody's going to be pissed.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of it, I guess what people have been saying a lot is that I said that I was embarrassed. And the truth is like, I was embarrassed. Like I'm sitting in a group with all my friends, my boy, my homie lifts my girl and he gets a higher score. It's not even about that. I wasn't like embarrassed at her. It was just like the situation. Like
you
don't get it. Like
too.
in my head, guys, like I just did that. I'm like so happy. I'm listening to good music. I'm vibing. I'm in Mexico. Sun's on me. I'm like, yeah, like me and my girl definitely like tended it. No doubt. Like it was great. So obviously I felt super bad. I'm not a guy that's trying to make anyone upset or someone cry. Immediately, like as soon as she cries, it makes me feel some type of way. So, obviously reflecting, I've obviously learned maybe my communication isn't the best and that's okay. But yeah, I definitely didn't mean to make her upset. And when you look back, guys, it wasn't that deep. It was a kissing challenge. And yeah, I got a 9.
Did you and Ollie have like beef
No.
the rest of the time in the
No,
house?
to be honest with you, and Ollie will even tell you, we were joking the whole time. I kept telling him, hey, watch it. You lips my girl like that.
Okay. So
It was just,
like,
me and Ollie actually walked in the house together, so we got like a super cool relationship. Yeah.
yeah. Was there anyone in the house that just did not get along? Because I know in past seasons that's how it was.
Yeah, I would say Cody and Madison definitely didn't get along. Which is
The
fair.
scene, this one scene of them just bickering.
Yeah, and to be honest, I felt really bad for Cody. What guy have you ever heard to like, first off, that challenge, the raft, he absolutely dominated that competition for her, right? And you guys don't know this because you can't see on the TV, the rope that we're pulling, his hands were like severely cut from that. Like I'm talking like bleeding. Everyone was like marked up pretty bad. And this guy wins the competition. He's so excited. He goes into the boardroom and Nick Lachey lets her know what her options are, and she decides to put herself on a date. And I felt really bad for him in that moment. And I won't lie, all of us at that moment, and Madison will even attest to you, we got pretty upset with Madison for doing that. And nonetheless, Madison did grow on me. She's actually a super cool person, but that was savage, Madison. You know that.
Listen, I take a lot of blame for that because I am the first person in the history of Perfect Match to discover that you can send yourself on a date.
Yeah.
So I take a lot of blame for that. But the thing is, it kind of goes back again to what I'm saying is people need to understand this is a TV show and it is for entertainment. So you have to give something to watch. And I don't think what Madison has done with a vendetta. And I like Madison. I met Madison at the Netflix event. She's super nice.
She's really nice.
And I think that here's the thing about a dating show is it's like, it's easy to sit in the house with the same 5-10 people all the time. The whole point of it is to see if that's your perfect match. And I think the point of dating is to date other people to see if it brings you back to the one that you're supposed to be with.
Yeah.
Granted, Madison, what she did was a shocker to everybody, but it would also be a lie for anybody who's in that boardroom who was not 100% confident, even though everybody says you two should be together and you two should be, it's not everybody else that has to be in a relationship. It's that person that needs to be in a relationship. And I think it's that person that needs to decide whether or not they feel confident in this or not. And guys, like everybody makes a super close connection because you're in this house and you're doing this unique and strong experience. But at the end of the day, like you'll never know what your match with somebody else is if you don't go and explore that first. You know what I mean?
I mean, the whole show's literally designed so that you fall in love with multiple people at once.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And
what happens, happens. You can't be mad that the process works.
exactly. It's true.
You know,
yeah.
my question going off of that is like, would you be upset if it was roles were reversed and you and Lucy were in the boardroom and Lucy was like, I want to go on a date with, you know, whoever, Cody or whatever, and she goes off, but then she comes back from the date and goes, oh, I didn't really like him. I explored that. I want to be with you. Do you feel better or worse about it?
You know what's funny? I think in your head you might think, okay, well, if she wants to explore that, then maybe that you're not really satisfying her like that, or there might be, you know, other out there. But I think if you make an agreement and you're like, guys, we got to immerse ourselves in the experience, and that's okay, and you want to pursue that, I don't see it as an issue. Maybe if you're asking me if I would have been upset about it, probably. But no, man, honestly, like, and again, feelings are so intensified. I think at some points too, Chase, and you can attest to this, it's like, you might not even like understand what you're feeling in a certain moment. And then, you know, something happens, something significant. You're like, okay, maybe I actually do care about this girl a little bit more than I thought I did. And that happens. And again, it's like a rush of emotion. And again, we don't always handle things the best way, but yeah, no, I think that if she wanted to do that, she would have like communicated that to me. We also weren't sent on dates, so I think that also is a testament to how strong we were. It's kind of weird seeing the cameras show you, or the edits show you, that it didn't really look like the best, yet every time people go into the boardroom they were saying, wow, they're so strong, or someone's like, let's put Daniel on a date, and Ollie's like, no, Daniel ain't moving like that. So I think that it also shows that, you know, it was pretty strong.
So what was the thought process between sending AD and Ollie on the date?
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That was a plot twist for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, when we were in the boardroom?
Yeah, because you on the board.
AD was sent out of the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Walk us through that.
Yeah, so Lucy and I finally win a challenge, thank God. I was like,
God.
there's no way I can do this whole
Well, I mean, you won the show, so I mean, you won the ultimate challenge.
I had like one thing in my head, I'm like, I gotta win this challenge. And it was actually a very cool challenge to win, just like juggling the balls, jumping back and forth. Lucy was great on that challenge. It was super fun. But we ended up going to the boardroom. Finally, keep hearing about this boardroom. I better go see it one time. And I go see it. And Nick Lachey says, Daniel and Lucy, you're tasked with voting the most compatible couple to least. So not including us. So we put AD and Ollie first.
The most compatible.
Most compatible.
Okay.
And then in my eyes, I was going to put Sandy and Louis, but we both agreed, Lucy and I, to put Madison and Freddie. You could make the case 2 and 3 were interchangeable at the time.
Yeah, of course.
And then I forget who we put last, but anyway, that's what it was. I don't know. Who did I put last? Do you remember?
You put
Juliet
and the other guy, yeah, I think.
Okay,
I
yeah.
have to look at it. But.
Yeah, anyway, moving on from that. So then we had AD on the board with Ollie, and the other board was Madison and Freddie. So we didn't know this at the time, but as soon as you picked one of the individuals from the couple, the other one would be sent home, which was a shock for us. Like, keep in mind, you go to the
That was a
boardroom.
good
Oh, you didn't have all the information.
No, we didn't have the information.
Oh.
Once we got there and once we made this selection, then we knew. So I pick Ollie, and as soon as I pick Ollie, I see these two women. No disrespect to AD, I love her. I didn't want that to happen. But as soon as I pick Ollie, you just see like 2 girls at the top. So it wasn't one person he was going on a date with. He was getting put on a date with 2, right? And then the other side was Madison and Freddie, and unfortunately Freddie had to go. So imagine us coming back, being all excited from the boardroom, and everyone's like, who's going on dates? And we're like, by the way, guys, not only is your significant other going on a date, you're actually leaving the house.
AD broke down. I felt so bad about that.
I felt like that was just super tough. I know Nick even came out and said, like, he wished that didn't happen, and it was difficult to even say.
No, I wish it did happen. I wish it happened more often on the show. And I'm going to give you a hot take right now, because I think that a lot of these couples are together because it's a safety thing. And I think that sometimes you need to test that relationship. And AD and Ollie are a testament to this, because now they have a baby on the way and they're married and they're so nice. I've met them many times. But the thing is like, you would never know how strong that relationship is if it's not tested. And you can't test it on the show.
Exactly. And that's something I also want to go into too, because people are saying, I don't know if you've seen, but they're like, oh, Ollie's hugging his girl AD and he's so upset. And then like the next day, which is the date that he was sent on by me, which was not his choice at all, he's smiling and on a date with 2 women. It's
Which
like,
of course
guys,
they're going to be smiling.
They're
there's
gorgeous.
Nothing he could have done. Like, what is he supposed to do?
It was inevitable.
He also doesn't know at the time that AD's even coming back in the house. Of course, he said, like, he hopes she's coming back. But at the time, you have no idea what's going on. Yeah. So is he supposed to go the rest of the show and not know?
And not match with anybody?
I mean, I think they both did good whenever AD came back into the house.
Yeah.
She was even playing mind games with a few of the guys. And at the end of the day, she was like, I always knew who I was going to choose.
And something I'll give credit to Ollie for is when he went on the date and the 2 girls came out, mind you, keep in mind, Ollie had no idea that AD was coming back in the house. So in his head, AD's gone. Like, he has to match with somebody to stay in this house. And even when the 2 girls came out, the very first thing he goes is, I'm gonna have some words with you, Daniel. And I gotta give him respect to that. Because as a man, you got these 2 baddies coming in, and your boy just sent you on this date with these 2 baddies. And he's still pissed. He's like, well played, they are sexy, but I'm gonna have some words with you, Daniel.
Yeah, and also too, like, credit to Ollie too, because like you said, the relationship does get tested. Like, they were tested. Like,
It wasn't like
and the one thing I will say, like, he genuinely like didn't waver. I know like edit or things will make a certain thing of it, but he did not waver. Like, when she wasn't in the house, we'd be having conversations. He's like, man, like, I just want AD, or I don't know where she's at, and then obviously, of course, on Boys Day, he's like, what did he say? He's like, Jesus of Nazareth, who is that? And it's AD walking in. So
see, he eternally knew it.
He manifested it.
He manifested it. And I'll give you a prime example of this on my season of Perfect Match. I remember distinctly having conversations with Dom. Dom was matched with Francesca at the time, and I remember distinctly talking with Dom. Dom was like, if it's not Francesca I'm matching with, it's nobody. And then obviously, like, I bring Georgia into the house, and he immediately was like, Francesca who? Georgia. And then he was in love with Georgia, asking her to be his girlfriend. And you guys know the dynamic of that. But the thing is, as with Ollie, as soon as AD came back in the house, whether he knew it was her or not, he subconsciously felt the connection with her, and he went back to her. And that's a strong relationship off the jump. You know what I mean? So So credit to that.
Yeah,
Well done, son of mother day.
And then on top of it too, it also proves that, you know, perfect match maybe does work.
Right.
Because
I'm still shocked.
they end up together.
I'm still.
But
shocked.
it takes a guy like you to go on there and say, okay, this is the strongest couple. They need to go. We need to see. Show me something.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still shocked they didn't win. No offense.
Yeah,
But,
no,
like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if you guys see it, but my face is pretty shocked too. But,
oh no, I saw that.
at the same time, though,
Now you a champ. Let them know.
yeah, AD and Ollie would attest to it too. They said, you know, if it wasn't them, it would have been us, and vice versa. So
No,
to be honest with you, I like you can ask Ollie and AD. As soon as I found out about their engagement, I'm calling them right away. I'm like, I'm dying laughing. I'm like, I knew it, you know?
Okay, but Dan, but it's like it's not. Again, everything needs to be talked to from the perspective of the time of it. You
Yeah.
didn't know that they were going to go off and get engaged.
No,
you don't
no,
know
of
this.
course, of
At the time, you and Lucy and Ollie and AD were almost equal.
Oh, absolutely.
And it could have gone either way.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm trying to say though. Like in my eyes, the only two genuine winners in my eyes would have been them or us. And that's what I felt. That's my opinion, guys. It doesn't mean it's right, but just being there, experiencing it all, seeing it from start to finish. Yeah.
And how's your relationship after the show?
Where is it gone?
Like, have
Yeah.
you guys communicated?
Not really. We tried to make it work a little bit after long distance and stuff. As you guys know, we didn't end up making it to our trip to Fiji, but just a side note on that, it wasn't Fiji. It was actually going to be a safari. So I don't know where you guys
No
got Fiji
way, you
from.
missed out on.
You guys said
safari.
Fiji in the finale.
Oh yeah, I know, but we ended up changing it.
It says, where are you guys going? And Lucy goes, I think we're going to go Fiji. And Dana goes, yeah, I think Fiji. Fiji didn't happen.
Yeah, no.
Fiji water.
We actually Fiji water is crazy. We actually tried making it work after. Guys, we're on different time zones. She's a beautiful girl. You know, she has a lot of options. Unfortunately, it didn't work out like any relationship, ups and downs. I don't think I could make a relationship work from someone that lived 5 hours away, let alone in an entirely different country. So
And you guys tried.
yeah, we did. We genuinely did, and
So you're on good terms still.
I would like to think so. Like at least how I am, I never burn a bridge. I like to think we're okay. Yeah. At the same time, guys, of course, it's unfortunate. Like you always want things to work out, but I will tell you this: like this also happened a long time ago. I feel like I've grown so much and learned from my mistakes. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the sad reality of it is sometimes guys in relationships, because I've known Daniel a while too, and it's not like he has like a lot of girlfriends that he's take personally into his life, and I think that he did make a monumental step with trying to make things with Lucy work out. Even me talking to him post show, I can attest saying that he was trying. But the thing is guys, in relationships, you guys need to understand something sometimes. It's like when you have a new relationship and you have this long distance relationship and you also have the pressure of millions of people watching back home, it's not a realistic relationship for people to comment on because people can't speak for something that they've never been in.
Yeah.
And I will say, like in every relationship, doesn't matter if you're really strong together, live together, or not strong together, there's gonna be points when you guys are really high and there's gonna be points when you're really low. And sometimes relationships just don't work out.
Yeah, and I do want to say this on record too. Like, I'm super grateful for like the perfect match like experience, but I don't know if I could have did the whole thing without her. Like, genuinely, we had like a great thing on there, and I think that you know she would say the same thing. I remember she was telling me on the show that if it's not me, she doesn't want to be there. And we actually had a great connection, and I'm so grateful we went through it. And guys, we met a ton of cool fucking people. It was an amazing time. Like. That hopefully relationships I have for a long time. But yeah, no bad blood between me and Lucy, and I just
That's
wish
good.
nothing but the best for her.
And what was the last conversation that you had with Lucy to this date?
I spoke to her at the Netflix summer break event, and it was just a brief conversation. We, you know, just shared hello, how are you, and that was really it.
And a lot of people are going to be like, of course you did, because you did this boys that. Again, guys, this is a
year
TV
ago.
show.
Yeah.
This was a year ago, and this is like he knew the girl for like 2 weeks. If anybody out there right now wants to say, oh, I would never do that to a girl for 2 weeks, here's an idea. Go on your phone, or go on your significant other's phone and just scroll through the DMs. I bet you they're probably talking to like 4 other people, especially if you only known them for like 2 weeks. So the fact that Daniel went and he wasn't talking to anybody and he separated his relationship, and most of the people that go on Perfect Match, take it from me, have relationships back home. Go watch my fucking season, for God's sake. So I got sent home for doing that shit. So I mean, you know, so attesting to you, I'm sorry she didn't reply, but it does take a bigger person to reach out and say, hey,
Yeah.
I know you're now experiencing this and seeing this, and I hope that you're still doing well. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's all it's about. It was a great experience. Couldn't be.
Okay, let's talk about Juliet and the Scott situation for a minute. I want to talk about this because this
That's my boy. That's my boy.
That
Scott.
ending was terrible.
this was the craziest shit I think I've seen on Perfect Match.
The boys said, let's just sink this ship.
Well, talk about a boy's boy. I mean, you see a lot of girls on reality TV. There's not a lot of times you see on a boy's boy. So I got to give respect to, what's the guy's name?
Carrington.
Carrington. I got to give mad respect to this guy because this guy had a conversation with Juliet. Juliet told him all this stuff. And then he goes, okay, so you're going to match with the guy that you said is not your match. And it seemed like a personal piss take at him. And I respect him for being like, okay, cool. Got up, walked over there and said, hey, bro, she's going to match with you. But just so you know, she told me that you're not her match. And then Scott walked out that motherfucker too.
It was
Chef's
iconic.
kiss.
Yeah.
No, and then she was like, now I'm going to have a sad edit. And how Netflix made the edit. Did you see that?
And that's something I want to talk about too, is like, and that's not even the only part. And I like Julia. I think she's cool. I met her at the event. This is the first time I met her. She comes from Siesta Key. But like the 2 things that she said that threw me off on this show was when she said, I'm going to get a sad edit. And then in the finale, she said, wait till this airs. You're going to look stupid. So the whole time in her head, she's not thinking about relationships. She's thinking about how this is going to get portrayed. And she knows that girls get a great edit in reality TV. So she thinks she's walking through fire, but they exposed that
No,
shit.
that
Big
was-
up Netflix.
That was funny. That
Yeah.
was so good.
Yeah, no, Scott, I remember Scott doing that. I remember he's like, I'm going to walk out. And I was like, part of me was like,
him.
you should do it. And part of me was like, that's my guy. I don't want him to leave. And the best part was, this is actually the truth. And Juliet, I love you. You know that. Great girl. But I don't think she clocked that when they walked out, that would mean she has to leave too. So it was just so, to be honest with you, we were all sitting there, like Lucy, I, Freddie, everyone, we're like, what is going on? It was a little bit of a shouting match, obviously. Like it got pretty intense, but at the same time, Scott, that was an iconic walk, and you know that. So.
I appreciate it and I love it because if like they're not gonna be a perfect match, you don't want to leave the show saying like, oh, what happened to this couple? At least when you walk out right then and there, you make it very abundantly clear that this is not my perfect match. Juliet, everything at the time on the show, again, I like her, but I just want to make this clear. It just seems like everything she was doing on the show, she was doing for the sake of the edit, and I don't like that.
Yeah, she's actually cool, but yeah, big up on what you said though. Shout out to Carrington for doing that.
Yeah,
That's
big up
huge.
Carrington.
Yeah.
Dude's
That's
dude.
a real dude for
He's
that.
He came in saying, oh, I'm going to just love bomb every single girl I meet.
Carrington's actually a really funny guy.
But at least he's on. At least he's the only one playing an honest game. Like I gotta respect it. Like bro came in as a bombshell. Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows he got 10 minutes. You got.
He did good with
You could
his
be.
time.
You could be QT. Shit. You could be Hannah. You could be Hannah and get your shit completely edited out. Now we got Hannah's baby daddy that we don't even know who the hell that is. It might be you. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, we're gonna find that out. I think she said she's actually releasing that today too.
No way.
Oh, that's gonna be
Shoot.
a long day for us. No, I gotta give credit to that, but I just think that some of the things that were going on in the show could have been handled a little bit differently, and I don't think Juliet clocked that she was also gonna have to leave. So that was like a triple headshot for a lot of that. But I do want to talk about Ollie and AD coming back together. Can we talk, Jenny? You were there firsthand, so can you just touch on that a little bit and what that experience was like seeing those two come back together?
Like coming back together from what, after Boys Day when she came back into the house.
Yeah, she came back into the house and he was going on the double dates, and then like somehow they were.
To be honest with you, that was super intense. Like even just to watch on the outside. Ollie's my guy. We walked in the house together, so we were always super close, talking throughout the show. And again, as I said previous, he never wavered once, and he always wanted AD coming back in. Was it obviously a little bit rocky considering Justine was in the house, that she had to share a bed with him for one night? And you know, again, like every relationship, guys, communication could always be better, but they found their way back to each other and worked through it. And again, shout out to AD. Like, she knew what she wanted. That's her man. They worked it out. Wasn't easy at all. They were probably the most challenged couple out of anybody.
In front of millions of people. They had to work
Absolutely.
that, so.
And now for it to work out, guys, when it's all said and done, and it's actually crazy too, like seeing comments like, I can't believe it. At first I was supporting this and whatever. You know what the best part is, guys? That's their relationship. It's
Exactly.
no one else's,
Exactly.
So I have a big shout out to them. I love them, and yeah, it was awesome.
Can't wait to see the wedding.
Can't wait to see
Exactly.
the wedding. Okay, so let's, because we only got a few minutes left here, I want to talk about a couple things right here. The final. So let's talk about the finals. So the finals, they hit you guys with one last challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you guys knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah. So
No, we actually did.
that was actually crazy how they're like, you get one question wrong, all of a sudden you're not compatible. Like, mind you, brother, you don't.
They had I won't lie to you, when Nick Lachey said that to us, he's like, for the first time ever, there's actually one last challenge, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, just shocking. Obviously we both had our own like clipboard. They'd ask a question and they had to match up, and then
It was like birthdays, first kiss.
But these are questions like I wouldn't even think to ask. Like when I'm trying to get to know somebody, the first question
yeah.
I'm not asking is like, oh, so which day is your birthday? And then they might just say it quickly, but there's so much other shit going on that I might forget. Like, bro, I've known her for 2 weeks. Like we've gone through this intense
I was
experience.
shocked everyone knew the birthdays.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was
How about the diagram that they did?
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Like,
Sure.
brother, did you give enough in depth about the diagram of your first
It's
kiss?
playing COD too many times with you, so I just know maps so well. I mapped
You're
out,
like,
I mapped
let me
out the
just
entire
draw.
house.
Brother can't even get a text back after the boys' day, but brother's drawing diagrams of the first time he kissed this girl.
Yeah. No, that was actually really fun. I actually spelled jealous wrong on
How long did you have to answer these questions?
not long at all. It was like time super quick. And then what ended up happening was the two couples with the most points ended up being the
and
ones
it
who voted.
was
And to be
Ollie-
honest with you, it actually did work out, because those were the two in the end that I believe should have been the only ones to be voted for.
No, I'm so glad, honestly, that Louis
I-
and Sandy didn't make it.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, I didn't even know if you had to put this in here. But do you know who votes for who? Like, I didn't even get to.
Yeah, Louis did Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo.
Yeah, a lot of them. I heard a lot of them.
Yeah, he did it for you. I think, yeah, it does show it briefly. It just only shows a couple.
Yeah.
So fast, though. They didn't even, like, make it important.
Exactly.
They keep it pretty even, but here's the thing: is like that whole thing is like you're gonna win a date. At that point, if you make it to the finale, it doesn't really matter who wins. I don't think.
Yeah.
Personally, but
Definitely doesn't. The real winners in the end are AD and Ollie.
Obviously-
You got a family coming.
yeah, exactly. Obviously,
You won on the show, but they're winning in real life.
That's right.
obviously, Fiji didn't happen, and all that. But I do want to talk about Louis and Sandy for a second.
That was such a fake relationship.
Okay.
Watching.
Yeah, let's talk about them. So Louis and Sandy were together from start to finish, right?
Yeah.
It was never no. Okay, was there any times where you guys were watching them and you're like, okay, these guys are together for clout?
So obviously, immediately at first, guys, everyone knows Louis Menace, like whatever. Chase, like yourself, you have this TV persona. You guys are on it so many times, so people automatically judge. The one thing I will say though about Louis and Sandy, the one thing that they made like pretty good is that they informed everyone, and they said to themselves they were open to the experience. So they're open to getting to know other people. And in the beginning, maybe did it seem as serious as other couples? No, but what I will tell you is over time it did grow, and I feel like Louis doesn't get enough credit too, because they're like, oh, that's Louis, he's 20, he's 23, he's just, it's not serious or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know in the end if I viewed them as like the strongest couple necessarily, but they definitely grew, and they were pretty cool together.
I will say, like, knowing Louis and knowing Sandy in person, Louis is honestly such a sick dude. And, and Sandy's a sweetheart, too. I met her even before she was on TV. And I will say, the thing is like, at least they were honest in saying we were open to the experience and we want to see other things. Did they think they were going to win the show? No, but they were there and they went through the experience. And I thought that they had moments in there where I was like, okay, I can see them, trying to be together and trying to work it out for a little bit. And I think that obviously now with the whole Love Islanders and Huda and Miguel and Louis and Leah situation, I think it's all really messy right now. And I'm gonna preface this, and I'm gonna give you guys a hot take right now. I think Miguel's being an absolute cuck right now. I think he's and knows it's nobody else's opinion, not Daniel's, not anybody's. This is a hot take from Chase. I think he's being a cuck right now. I think everything he's doing, going at Louis when they were boys and then following him, all stems from jealousy that comes from Leah and Huda coming into the spotlight from being on Love Island. And honestly, I'm so tired of seeing it, because I think that it doesn't matter if it was Louis or anybody else. I think that Leah and Miguel are taking such a hot take at these two strictly because they had a personal relationship, and it can cut deeper deeper than what it is. So that's my hot take on
I
that.
think jealousy is one hell of a drug.
Louis is a nice guy, and
Louis the guy. We all know that. He's actually a great guy. I got no bad things to say about him.
exactly. And it's just like if anybody has anything bad to say about Louis,
He's actually like such a genuine guy. He actually has like no issues with anybody.
he's one of the only people, one of the few people who gained actual clout from reality TV and did not change a single bit.
Yeah,
Like this guy's the
he's
exact same.
authentic. Yeah, he's always been the same too. Even when I met him with you in England years ago, and then to be on the show, it was just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of TMZ nonsense because he's with Huda and they might be together for clout. Who gives a fuck why they're together? They're together. He's not cheating on her. He's not abusive to her. Who cares if they're both famous? Who cares if they're
Let
together?
people be.
Let people live.
Let them be happy.
Let them be happy. I think that's the problem with these reality TV relationships, and it stems over into Perfect Match, and it stems over into Love Island. Is like people out there put so much pressure on people to be together because you guys see certain aspects of them on reality television.
That's also why people want to hide their relationships who come from reality TV because they know what all is going to stem from that and the mess and the drama. So they're like, can we just have something private? Like, let them be private if they want to.
Horrible. And you guys wonder why Hannah doesn't want to show her baby daddy. Why Daniel doesn't want to talk about anything he's got going on in his life. Why Louis and Uda waited until months before even announcing their relationship. It's like you guys wonder why people do this. It's because you got guys who got famous for being in a relationship on reality TV and feel entitled because they already went through that experience and there's so many people invested into it that they want to comment on somebody else's relationship and try to sabotage it. For what reason? What does it have to do with Miguel or Leah or anybody on Love Island? What does Huda and Louis being together have to do with Sandy, have to do with Perfect Match? It has nothing to do with it. If he's happy and she's happy, let them fucking be together. It's not anybody else's business. And that's my hot take on that.
And with that,
And a preference that I actually am in a very happy relationship, but it will remain private.
Exactly. And Daniel, you heard it here first. Winner Perfect Match, he's in a happy relationship right now. Everybody, back the hell off. So
period. Mic drop.
anything else you guys want to set up?
Nope.
Super grateful for Perfect Match. Thank you guys for having me, and thank you to everyone that watched it and people that support me, good and bad. That's pretty much it.
We can't wait to see everybody's favorite Perfect Match winner back on reality TV. This has been the best podcast in the world. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the #1 podcast in the world. We are your hosts, Chase Demoor.
And Gabrielle.
And this is
Daniel Perfetto.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.